Get the tools you need to become a free and independent trainer with my Dumbbells to Dollars course at www.dumbbells2dollars.com. Hi, doing everybody, Jonathan here, your original Fit Boss, and in this video I'm going to go over 3 dumb things that trainers do that is hurting their ability to grow. Now, the one thing you may have noticed is that I did not say I would do this video in 5 minutes or less, because I've noticed over the past couple of months in my efforts to keep my videos under 5 minutes, I speak faster than I probably should, and I cut out information that might otherwise be very helpful for you because I want to stay under 5 minutes. So understand that this video may go a little bit longer than 5 minutes, but if you're really interested in seeing success, you're going to watch the whole video. And if you need to watch it in pieces, watch it in pieces. So let's go over these 3 things. And I'm sure there are going to be trainers out there that say, oh, well, I do this and I'm not suffering. But there are always exceptions to the rule. But there's one rule that you can't deny. The best businesses, and we're all businessmen here and businesswomen, the best businesses give themselves 50% of the power, where essentially, and that's the best that you can offer as a business owner, where essentially you have a service and you have terms, and then you can decide to give that service for a fee, or you can decide not to give that service for that fee. And the client has 50% of the power, where they have the money to invest in your services, and they can decide either to agree to your terms, or they can decide not to agree to your terms and not pay you. So that's 50-50, and that's the best that you can ever get. But a lot of trainers, when they do these 3 things, violate that 50% rule. And this was actually the last straw for me, and that's why I decided to go off on my own, because I was working in a big box gym as an at-will employee, and it was a 50-50 deal where I said, I will work at your gym and I will train your clients as long as you pay me X amount of dollars. But the gym started doing all these special events, and then they would impose upon the trainers situation where they had to train members for free, and that violated the 50-50 rule. I did not have the power to say, no, I will not train this person unless you pay me. And so since they violated the 50-50 rule, I decided to quit and go off on my own. And ever since then, I've never violated the 50-50 rule, but a lot of trainers do, and a lot of gyms do. So let's go over these 3 things, and I guarantee you that if you change these up a bit, it's going to be a lot more beneficial for you to grow your business, see success, make more money. All right, the first rule that trainers violate is that they train by sessions. And this is something that you guys picked up from gyms, because it doesn't bother the gym that they are now imposing upon you a non-50-50 rule. So when you train by session, you essentially say to your client, hey, I'm going to give you a block of 48 sessions, and then in your mind, you expect the client to use those sessions within, let's say, 3 months or 2 months, or whatever the case may be. So you're going to pay me for this 48 block of sessions, and then whenever that expires, then you get another 48 block. But that takes a lot of power out of your hands, because the client can essentially use 3 sessions and then not show up for 2 years, and then say, I never used my other 45 sessions. I want to use them now that your book's solid, or I want a refund for them. And that takes a lot of the power out of your hands. Now, it works well for the gym because they pay the gym gets the money, and then the gym decides whether or not they disseminate the money to you based on the client's needs, but you have terms. So what do I always suggest? I always suggest charging people by time, subscription billing for all personal training or boot camp packages, where if you're running a boot camp, obviously it's very simple. 2 days a week, 3 days a week, unlimited, whatever package you're offering, they're charged monthly. Or if you want to do weekly. I don't ascribe to that, and I'll make a different video on that later. But whether the client shows up or not, they're going to get charged every month, but they always have the power to cancel. All right. So you have the power to charge the person. They have the power to cancel, and they can't impose any more of their will onto you. Whereas if you charge by session, you may charge for a 12 session block, expecting them to use it over the course of a month because you need to get other clients at different time slots. And then this person, doesn't use their sessions or wants to group them all at once. And then that ruins your ability to earn more. I've seen this situation with another trainer. And then she told me, the guy bought an insane amount of sessions and then stopped showing up, didn't return her calls, even though she was saying, hey, come in, you got to use your sessions. We said that we would do it in this period of time. And then like a year later, he said, hey, I'm falling on hard times. I didn't use my 10 sessions or my 20 sessions remaining. I need a refund. So that takes the power out. All right. Whereas if you're charging by time, all you have to do is follow up with the client and say, hey, you missed a week. Where you been? Come on back. come on back or cancel. And you have to be willing and confident to say that. Either come back and cancel, or I'm going to continue to bill you. All right. And then if you do that, then you're going to put yourself in a much better situation to not get taken advantage of by the client. The next thing that trainers violate the 50-50 rule with is taking cash. All right. And this is another situation where you take the power away from yourself and you give all the power to the client. So let's say you have a recurring monthly billing, but you're taking cash. Then clients can take their time, they can forget, they cannot have the right amount on any given day, but they're still coming to class. And this is something that I see constantly with my students and with trainers from the channel that say that they're struggling. Oh, this person isn't paying me on time. How do I get them in order? And the way that you solve that is not taking cash at all. I never take cash from my clients unless they're buying a big time-based block of sessions with my boot camp. So if somebody is going to be buying 6 months at a time, in that instance, I'll take the cash because I'll say, all right, this is your end date. It stops no matter what. But if they were on a monthly recurring cycle, I would never take cash. I would never take cash on every 1st or every 15th because I don't want to become a bill collector. I just want to give off good vibes, and the only thing I worry about is the training. And you can take yourself out of that realm by just doing automatic billing, where you take the client's card, you put it into your merchant account, and then it's automatically charged every month. Not only is it harder for the client to quit, because like once you get used to something coming out regularly, it's then easier to say, you know what, let me just get my butt into class, as opposed to when you have to actually give cash every time, when you have to make that decision. All of a sudden you find different reasons to spend that money. So then they're going to say, you know what, instead of spending $200 a month on this boot camp, I'm going to just buy this new pair of shoes. And I don't have any money for boot camp anymore. So I would say managed billing, subscription billing through credit card is a way better way to go. And the number one reason why trainers don't do that is because they're scared. They're scared to ask people for their credit card information. But as long as you present yourself professionally and conduct your business well, people will be willing to give you debit or credit card. And you have to be confident enough to say, I don't take cash. And I just do that. They're like, can I bring you cash? I would rather wait for a debit or credit card than take cash right now, because I know down the line I'm going to end up going back and forth saying, hey, Mrs. Smith, you still owe me that $180. Yo, when are you going to give it to me? And that just makes an awkward situation. And there are tons of different merchants accounts. You have Stripe, you have I use Chase Payment Tech, and there's one more that I can't remember. I'm sure it'll come to me somewhere later in this video. But there are tons of options where you can just take the person's credit. You have PayPal. You have tons of options where you can take the credit card and then never have to worry again. And then all you have to focus on is training. All right. And the last violation of the 50-50 rule, the dumb thing that trainers do, is that they get into a situation of rent where they're giving away a percentage of their income. And that is a huge violation, because you essentially are renting space, which doesn't increase in value. The only reason that the space has more value is because you're bringing the value, you're working harder. So if I own the space and then I say, I'm going to take 10% of your revenue, or we agree to a 10% of your revenue deal, then it doesn't matter how hard you work. Like, the harder you work, the more you have to pay. And it shouldn't be that way. And the number one reason why trainers get into this percentage agreement is that they're afraid to take a chance on themselves. All right. So they, instead of saying, all right, I'm going to just pay you $500 upfront for rent, or $1,000 for rent, something that the rentor will be comfortable with, they'll say, I'll just give you 25%, because they don't believe that they can make enough. All right. I essentially said when I first started my boot camp, all right, I'm going to take a risk on myself. I'm going to agree to this amount, and I'm going to just make it happen. And you have to be willing to do that if you're going to be successful. There's a fair amount of risk. You can't eliminate all risk when you talk about entrepreneurship and working for yourself. So the one thing that I did when I first started my boot camp was I did something special. I said, I wasn't quite sure. I said, when we were trying to figure out rent, I would give them 15% of my revenue, or $500, whatever number is higher. All right. And at the end of the year, we would figure out the average cost. And then from there, that's going to be my cost no matter what. So I knew in the first year that I knew that I would probably get better. All right. And I did after the first year, but we locked in a rate after the first year. And then we agreed on an amount that the rent could increase, not more than 3 to 5% per year. And then I'm all set. I'm not in a situation. Imagine if I had agreed to 25% of my revenue for rent. Maybe in my first year, that rent would have only been, $250 or $500, but by year 3 or 4, I would have been paying like $2,000, $3,000 rent because I agreed to a percentage. And you never want to do that. You never want to give away a percentage of your revenue. That also gives the rentor eyes into your money. I never want anybody's eyes on my pockets and earnings, because then they're going to say, prove to me that you only earned X amount. You owe me more. And renters can get very slick after a while, especially with personal trainers. So you have to do the best for yourself in order to make sure that your business flourishes. Now, I've gone through this in pretty good detail, and you may be thinking, all right, I can train by time, but I'm not sure how to do that. I can get my nerves up and I can charge via credit card. I don't know how to do that. And I'm not exactly sure how to present my business to a rentor. And if you struggle with all that stuff, that's why I've put together the Dumbbells to Dollars course, which is going to teach you how to do billing correctly. It's going to teach you how to do the management correctly. It's going to include all the contracts, but it's also going to teach you how to train better in personal training and in group, how to dominate sales in a big box gym, how to run fat loss contests, how to coach nutrition, how to build flyers, how to negotiate contracts with owners. And I guarantee you it's going to be the best resource that you've ever invested in your training career. So if you've never checked that out, all you got to do is go to www.dumbbellstodollars.com, and I guarantee you it's going to be very helpful for you. But that's about it. I hope you found this video helpful. It's a little bit longer, but it's more detailed, and I think I'm going to go that route going forward. But if you have any questions or comments, put them in the comment section below, because questions or comments are what fuel the videos on this channel. And thank you for watching. So I'll be back soon, as long as you remember to eat healthy, hydrate, drive safe. Stress levels, all get rest. Don't slap anybody. Love your clients. Say love you back. I'll see y'all tomorrow or the next day, and you have a good one.